you describe your job as the most difficult in the world. Why?
In the name of God, the most merciful. To begin, Somalia has lived for a long time, 18 years, in continuous civil wars that have destroyed the country and have passed through many phases where there was tribal wars, and then they were confrontations that were political for about 2 years, and then after that there were negotiations in Djibouti which led to an expansion of the parliament and election of the leadership of the country, which led to the cabinet, the current cabinet. There is a lot of intervention happening in our country, and there is a lot of suffering for the people of Somalia currently. Somalia from 1991 has not seen one day of stability. And for that reason, it is the hardest job that any president could have. And the presence of Al-Qaeda and different groups that use Islam in their name, their ties to Al-Qaeda, and also Al-Qaeda wanting to be involved in Somalia makes it harder.
I'll ask you about some of those in a moment, Mr. President, but Hillary Clinton, the U.S. Secretary of State, called you the best hope for Somalia. Now, what danger is there that that display of affection or affinity from Washington, D.C. is actually a big problem for you, a kiss of death for your credibility on the streets of the Somali streets because of the way Somalis regard America?
Let
me begin by saying the state must have allies and friends and a network, and including countries like America. Islam deals with Muslims and with non-Muslims, and always the relations between Muslims and non-Muslims, there is public interest and there is mutual interests, and we of course share the common humanity. Somalia, if we want to take it to its former status and restore stability, it needs people to stand with it. And the Somali people understand that there's no way to continue a government that has an enemy with all its neighbors and the rest of the world. What we're looking for is the general public interest of our people, and I think the Somali people understand that. Well, the U.S. forces have just said they think they've killed a top Al-Qaeda suspect during a military raid in Somalia. They flew helicopters in and attacked a car that was carrying a Kenyan-born man, Saleh Ali Saleh Nabhan. What danger is there, what danger has there been in Somalia of a vacuum, a lack of stability, allowing groups like Al-Qaeda to take hold and extremists to find a base?
Al-Qaeda
has been working in Somalia for a while, but recently, more recently, some of the extremist groups announced their relations with Al-Qaeda, and Al-Qaeda announced that they have a foothold and relations with those elements in Somalia, and this does pose a danger for Somalia and security of the region as a whole, and actually the security of the world at large, because the way they work, which is involves a lot of bloodshed and taking over a country, and also messing with our internal security, hurts the Somali interests and also Islam in general, because we believe in this faith, and it is a tolerant religion, and it's about life and prosperous living for people, for all humanity. So it's a contradiction with that. So these extremist ideas, they are a shame to all Muslims, and they must confront this with the correct Islam. which is the Islam that we inherited from the Prophet, peace be upon him.
Now, it's interesting and perhaps ironic that you are one of the founding members of the Islamic Courts Union, and that in itself, by virtue of the name it has, Islam in the name, was quite fearful to the West. I guess many in the West assumed the Islamic Courts Union was basically an extremist Islamic group for a long time. How has it been trying to change those perceptions of that?
We didn't really change the image. What happened is the West was afraid, and all the rumors that were going on, and they were baseless, that were against the Islamic Courts Union. And we, from the beginning of when the court started being established, we were saying that we are not terrorists, we have no project to be an enemy of any country, Western or not. We just wanted to take advantage of our religion in the way that brings hope and peace and stability to our country, and we still say that. I will not hide the fact that some of the leadership of the Islamic Courts Union had some kind of tendency to go extreme, and they have made statements that hurt the Islamic Courts Union, and our enemies took advantage of that.
There was an interesting email that came in from a viewer in London, if I could put this to you, Mr. President. Muhammad Sadaq Ali from London wrote in saying, can you give clear explanation of the differences between your current government and that of your predecessors, Abdullahi Yusuf?
To begin, we believe that there should be a government that represents the national unity and consensus built on principles of Islam and also Somali tradition and culture. And we also believe in peaceful coexistence in the region. This will lead to stability of our country. And we also believe that the negotiations and talks should continue and stop all foreign intervention in our country. I believe that these thoughts, through these, we can build a foundation for the future Somali state.
Another email question. We have many viewer questions for you, Mr. President. This one is from Florida in the USA, from Anju Giri from Tampa, who says, we would like to know what safety measures and privileges he has secured or planned for the women and children, keeping in mind they are the most vulnerable lot. And of course, this is one thing that the civilians are still, especially the women and children, still caught in the middle and being killed and raped.
The issue in Somalia, the problem, is really difficult. The hardest part is that the security deterioration in our country needs a lot of measures to be taken. We are sorry that the fighting continues, and the damage that is happening, especially to the elderly, the weak, and the children and the women. I would like to, of course, we would like to help these segments of our society because it is our duty. As much as we can do, we will do. From a security point of view, the reformation of the Somalia National Forces, an army, to train them well, to give them enough weapons to do their job, and to continue the talks and to create more public awareness in the country. This we hope will lead, God willing, to an end of this crisis, because everybody's hurting right now, except for the extremist groups that find it beneficial to continue the chaos.
But Mr. President, how confident are you can bring together the groups into a national army when basically the militias have had control for so long? How can you bring the people together?
I trust that I can do it. We can do it because the project and the trend, the direction they are going in, they will find very soon, and they will know for a fact that there is no way to continue their project and going down that street. We are living in a complicated world, and we are living in a difficult situation. We must know what we are able to do. Before we start accusing each other, we have to sit together and talk and find a solution and find a consensus and come together